Good afternoon. Welcome to a comparison of Zoho Forms webinar. My name is Riley Lyman. I'm a Zoho business analyst here at AspenTech. I have formal training in discovering and addressing pain points, gathering and analyzing customer data, and optimizing user experience through my experience design and management degree. And I am also a certified Zoho One admin through the Workflow Academy. Our business, AspenTech, has been in business for over 20 years. We've offered CRM and business-related solutions since 1994. We service clients throughout North America in a variety of industries. We're based in Novi, Michigan, and we currently have a team of 10 consultants and support staff supporting the Zoho apps. A lot of my work has involved forms, so I'm really excited to share what I know with you all. So today, first thing really quickly, we're going to talk about the benefits of forms, and then we'll discuss all the different types of forms. So the Zoho CRM Webforms, Zoho Desk Forms, Zoho Campaign Sign-up Forms, Zoho Forms, and Zoho Creator Forms. And for each of these types, we'll discuss the features, uses, and how they work with automation. We'll have some time at the end for questions, but if you have any during the presentation, you can submit them in the Q&A section of the chat, and then I'll answer them at the end. So that's located by clicking the question mark icon on the toolbar. Forms within Zoho are a very powerful tool that can be used to gather valuable information and increase productivity and efficiency. They're available as single apps or in a bundle along with other apps. And all of the tools that we'll be talking about today are included in a Zoho One subscription, which is Zoho's option that includes all of their apps. We at AspenTech really just want to make sure that you're headed in the right direction and using the right tool for the job. One benefit of forms is that forms are way more efficient than manual entry. Forms are essentially a self-guided process. The users are guided through the process by the form to input information, and then they can submit it, and it usually takes no assistance from you or your company. There are many instances when a form comes in handy, but not all forms are created equal. Different form tools have different features, different use cases, and they work differently with automation. One of the really good problems about Zoho is that there are many different ways to accomplish the same thing because Zoho gives you so many options. One thing to think about when using forms is answering the important question of where and how will you store the data that is gathered. And this is where Zoho CRM comes in handy. Zoho CRM is Zoho's customer relationship management platform. So it's used to store customer data and show the relationships between the data. As mentioned before, there are many different options for forms in Zoho, and it's really awesome to have the ability to pick and choose based on your needs. But when we're choosing, we need to take into account the correlation between customization and technical expertise. Forms with more options to customize require slightly more technical expertise. So I've gone ahead and ranked the forms that we'll be discussing based on this criteria. So web forms are the simplest to use, but they have the lowest level of customization. Desk and campaigns are very similar in their level of customization and level of expertise. And then we have Zoho Forms, which has more customization and slightly more technical expertise necessary. And then Creator, which has the most customization but requires more technical expertise. So we'll start by discussing the forms at the lower levels of customization and technical expertise and work our way up to the most customization and technical expertise. The first form type that we'll discuss are the Zoho CRM Webforms. Zoho CRM is a platform that acts as a single repository to bring all your customer data into one place and show the relationships between the data. The Zoho CRM Webforms are Zoho's built-in web form integration with Zoho CRM. So with the web forms, you can capture information from visitors on your website. They're super simple to set up. They're easy to use. The iframe's simple. It integrates with the CRM modules, and form analytics is available, so you can analyze how the customers are interacting with the form. These analytics include the number of visits to the web form, the number of submissions, the percentage of fields that are usually filled out, and whether the leads already have a deal associated with them. And then you can compare which versions of a form perform better. So if we wanted to create a web form, we would go into the CRM. We would go into Setup. Under Developer Space, there's Web Forms right here. This is where we would create a web form. We would click New Form. Uses for this: you could have prospective users find and fill out the form on your website to attend workshops if that's something that you put on. You could also use it as a lead generation form on your website, and this is how AspenTech is currently utilizing them. So if we go to AspenTech's website, on the homepage right here, we see this CRM web form. So the website visitors can fill out this form, and then a record will be created in the CRM. The CRM web forms are simple and they require a lower level of expertise, and therefore they have a lower level of customization. So if you are needing a little more customization than this, our developers can customize them using HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. And there aren't as many advanced features, but if you need more advanced features, we can definitely take a look at Zoho Forms and Creator. With automation, the data is automatically imported from your website into the CRM system. So the values that the users put into the fields on the form will automatically be put into the same user's record in the CRM. There's also automated replies upon submission, so you could have the thank you for submitting page, or you could send an email. There also are assignment rules, so you can assign the incoming record to specific users. Assignment rules can be configured on different criteria based on your industry specifications, like territory, product interest, or lead source. Okay, the next form we're going to talk about are the Zoho Desk forms. Zoho Desk is the Zoho app meant to help simplify customer service, operations, improve agent productivity, and deliver lasting customer experiences. Zoho Desk forms are Zoho's simple process of capturing support tickets from your website into Desk. The Desk forms offer a little more customization than the CRM web forms. The tickets could be customers requesting help or leaving feedback about a product. And you can choose between two different form types. The first being the feedback widget. And the feedback widget you can display as a pop-up, a web embed, or iframe. So your customers can seek help without leaving the website or help center. And this picture in the bottom left, this is an example of a feedback widget. Next form type that's available in Desk are the advanced web forms. So you can create custom ticket fields so that you can capture more details, and you can capture the ticket or customer info. You can communicate with your web visitors. You can respond to customer questions, and you can receive online feedback. So if we wanted to make one of these, we would go into a desk account, go into setup. Under channels, we see web forms. So this is where we would create that feedback widget. And then over here on the left, we see advanced web forms. If we click on this, this is where we would create that advanced web form. Uses for this could be, the forms could be a landing page for each of the different departments, so it would turn into a prospecting tool. Another use could be your website visitors can submit support tickets on your website, and that's how AspenTech is currently using it. So if we go to the AspenTech website, under contact, and then Zoho Support, we see this desk form right here on the left. So this is how AspenTech is using desk forms to gather client support information. This is an example of an advanced web form. So the clients can fill out this form and then a ticket will be created in Desk. And then someone from our team can follow up with them to assist them with whatever issue they're having. With the desk forms, there's not as many advanced features, but AspenTech can help you set up Zoho Forms or Creator, and it can be used in a similar way to create tickets in Desk if that's what you're looking to do. With automation, you can send automated replies, so sending specific follow-up emails or SMS messages after the user has submitted the form. There are assignment rules which you can set depending on what criteria makes sense for your industry. AspenTech has set up automation in a couple of ways that are really helpful. In the top right here, we have this email notification. So when a ticket is created and the assignment rules assign it to a specific team member, that team member is notified. And so you can see that there's the ticket number with also a link to view the ticket. The other way is the notifications in Click. So Click is Zoho's messaging platform, and we see that right here. When someone has created a ticket, it notifies the whole team in our messaging platform. Zoho Campaigns sign-up forms are the next forms we're going to talk about. Zoho Campaigns is Zoho's platform built exclusively for email marketing. So you can bring in and manage the email database of your leads and contacts and send them marketing emails. Zoho Campaign sign-up forms are the email sign-up forms that you can customize to send out that suit your brand. Desk forms have similar customization. Campaign forms have similar customization to Desk. There are pre-designed and responsive email sign-up form templates available where you can edit the visual characteristics and form layout. With these templates, you can use them and modify them and reuse them as necessary. Again, there are two different types that you can choose from. There's embedded and pop-up. In the embedded, we have compact, banner, and long. And then in the pop-up, we have standard and blanket. And I'll show you the difference in 1 second. But the difference really is just the appearance, how it shows up to the end user. With the campaign sign-up forms, we also have form tracking. So the forms can be embedded in multiple places, and you can see which are collecting the most data and which are underperforming. For sharing, you can share via a button, QR code, you can display the form itself, or you can share a direct URL. So if we wanted to make a campaign sign-up form, we would go to Campaigns, we go to Library, Form Templates, We would click Create Form Template. And we have all of these templates to choose from. So these are the compact, these are the banner, long, and then we have the pop-up. So this is the standard pop-up and blanket pop-up. So as we can see, the difference is really just the size, how the end user is seeing it. We could use the pop-up forms to encourage visitors to your site to become an email contact. We could share the form with a button. We could embed it directly on a Facebook page, or you could share the forms as links on other social media channels. So an example that we created is this right here. So we have this button at the bottom that says newsletter sign up. So if we click that, it'll take us to this sign up form and we could fill it out. And then we can click Join Now. And we see this confirmation page that pops up. And it's really just that easy. They fill out these 5 fields or less, just whatever you choose, and then they can be added to the mailing list and receive the newsletter. With automation, we can push the information for contacts that complete and submit the forms from campaigns to the CRM. We can trigger automatic follow-up emails based on the recipient's behavior to try to convert them to a customer. So based on whether they open, reply, or don't respond to your emails with the sign-up forms, you can choose how to proceed, such as sending a specific email if they opened it and responded with next steps, or what information they'll be receiving, or a different email if they didn't open it. We can also have automation from a workflow based on the user completing the form, like we just talked about. So when the user completes the form, it could trigger a variety of automated actions. So these automations can happen on an action such as a create, edit, delete, or a specific date and time. With these actions, you can update other fields, you can assign an owner, add or remove tags, notify using email or click. You could add a task or a meeting or schedule a call, or you could create a record. Okay, now we're going to talk about Zoho Forms. Zoho Forms is Zoho's platform dedicated solely to forms. It's a really reliable front-end data collection system. So you can gather information in a customized way and share that information to a variety of Zoho applications. Zoho Forms is a really powerful form builder. There are 30+ field types. There's more advanced features like logic and layout rules. You can pre-populate data, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then you can have multi-page forms. There's more customization than the previous forms that we've discussed, along with a little more technical expertise. You can embed these forms on a web page. You can have a shareable link. They integrate with so many Zoho apps, and you can measure performance and optimize for better conversion. And the really awesome thing about Zoho Forms is all of this can be done without coding. So if we wanted to create a Zoho form, we would go to Zoho Forms. We would click New Form. And one thing that I wanted to point out up at the top, there are these form templates. So if you're wanting to create a form, you could come to the templates and find one that suits your need. But today we're just going to look at the blank forms, look at creating a blank form. So we can put in a name and click create. So on the left, we see all of these fields that we can use, as well as these advanced fields. So one of these advanced fields that I wanted to point out is this Zoho CRM field. We can use this to pull in CRM info to populate values. This is where we would do the logic and layout rules. And then under integrations, these are some of the Zoho and third-party apps that you can integrate with. There's so many good uses for Zoho Forms. You could use it to collect information from your employees. You could send it to gather more client information after they fill out the lead generation form on your website. You could use it to send out a form to verify address information prior to sending out other mail, such as holiday cards. So the forms will have the address and other information pre-populated. The users can add or update as necessary, and then the information in the CRM will be updated to match. With multi-page forms, these are beneficial in situations like doctor's offices where you have to fill out multiple pages of information the first time you visit. The way that AspenTech is using forms, just in one specific case, is at the close of a project to gather experience data and a promise for testing. So if we go into this form, this is the AspenTech example. So these are the pre-populated values that were pulled from the CRM. We made them read only, but you could let clients edit these values and then it would update their information in the CRM to match whatever they put in. So we can fill out this form. And this is where we see the logic and layout rules come into play, is for this recommendation field. So you can see if we select very likely, we just continue on with the rest of the form. But if we choose anything besides very likely, we get a prompt to give more feedback. This is Zoho's option for signature. So we can sign here and then submit. So here we have the submission message, and then a record has been created in the CRM as a result. Because this is a no coding solution, there are limits to the customization and automation. But if you need something with just a little more customization and automation than this, we can definitely help you look into Zoho Creator. With automation, we can trigger those conditional email or SMS notifications using rules like we talked about before. We can automate workflows, so having those various actions that run automatically. There are the autoresponder emails, so you can send specific emails that could contain next steps or anything else that the user needs to know after they submit. You could auto redirect on form submission. So if you want to send them to your website or a certain page of your website, we could set it up to do that. The pre-filled form fields are really awesome because they, one, boost the submission rates, And then 2, the respondent can view and update their CRM data. And then lastly, we have the relevant field display and conditional logic. Zoho Creator Forms are the last form type we're going to talk about. Zoho Creator is Zoho's low-code application development platform that helps you design, develop, and run any business software that you need. Zoho Creator Forms are a component of Creator that enable the collection and storage of data. Features include complex layout rules. You could perform calculations. You can shoot the data to multiple modules. There's background automation that runs during the fill out of the form. The automation triggers can actually dynamically alter the form as the user fills it out. So the questions that the user sees can change depending on previous answers. There's also on-the-spot validation. So the forms can detect if an invalid email address has been inputted. They can see if the information already matches a record in the CRM, or if the user qualifies for certain services based on how they answered questions on the form. And this could all happen while the form is being filled out. They wouldn't have to submit the form and then have someone from your company look over their answers to check. We could just set it up so everything is done automatically. Creator forms offer the most customization. They can collect and store data. You can actually disable the form after a certain amount of entries. So if you only wanted to collect a certain number, or if you only wanted the user to be able to submit it a certain number of times, we could do that. You can restrict availability based on location. So you can only let users submit the form if they're within a certain geographical area. We can show the submission or custom message after submitting. You can embed or share publicly. And then similar to Zoho Forms, you can integrate with various Zoho and third-party apps. So if we wanted to create a creator form, we would go into Creator. We would click New Application, and then we would click Create from Scratch. So this can be a little scary, but if you need assistance at any time, we have a development team that's really awesome in creating these. So some of the uses that we've seen, you could create customer portals where they can submit and access their data and then view and edit records. You could use it to create tickets in Desk on a schedule. You could even have an event registration form. So one example that we created is this contacts application. So if we click on this and then click New Contact, we could fill in this form and click Submit. So this is where you would input new contact information. And then after it's been submitted, we can go to the All Contacts, and this is where the records would live. So any contacts whose record you created and submitted, they would show up in this area. So one thing to remember is that these creator forms can be used for data entry where other Zoho applications fall short, because Creator can be customized to fit any need. And the look and feel are not easy to customize, and automation and integration likely require a Zoho developer. So this is where we can help. We have developers that can work with you to customize it to your needs. With automation, we can trigger those workflows, which are automated actions. We could send an email containing the data submission. We could redirect them to a landing page, such as your website. And then we have those automated processes that can be developed to run in the background while the form is being filled out. Now that we've gone over all the form types and their features, uses, and automation, I wanted to show this chart that quickly illustrates the differences between the forms. We can see from this chart that the form types on the left are the easiest to set up and use, but as we move to the right, the Zoho Forms and Creator Forms have a lot more options available. If you're already using third-party web forms on your website, but you want to get data into your system, there are a couple different options. The first is called an email parser. So again, this is if you're already using third-party web forms. The email parser can get the data into the system. So how it works is an email will be sent from your website, and we can train Zoho to read the plain text email and understand where the data is. The CRM will extract the values and create the record. And it can go through a large volume of emails that follow a similar template. So if we wanted to create an email parser, we would go to the CRM, click on Setup. Under Channels, we see Email. And then in the top left, Email Parser. So this is where we would create a parser. A use case could be a real estate company that has a list of properties on their website. Prospective purchasers could input their information. The information is then emailed from the website to the CRM. The parser can extract the data and add it as a record under any module. And then once the record is created with automation, we can assign a record owner automatically. So any of the records that come in can be assigned to a specific person on your team. Another option can be for those of you who own and manage the code for your own website. This solution is called a direct API connection. We can help create an integration to send and receive data between your website and the CRM. So just to review, we went over the different form types: CRM web forms, desk forms, campaigns, sign-up forms, Zoho Forms, and Creator Forms. We talked about the features, uses, and automation that can be used with each form type. We discussed the correlation between the level of customization and level of expertise, which is that if you want more customization, it's going to take slightly more technical expertise. And then lastly, we talked about the options for those who might already be utilizing third-party forms on their website, or those who own and manage their own website and need help bringing the data in. So how can AspenTech help? We can help in assisting in the form setup and integration. We can help you customize the forms to better fit your products and processes. And then we can also set up automation with the forms to streamline those processes. We can assist you in analyzing the data that you collect from the forms, as well as train. We can train employees, end users, managers, developers. We can train anyone on form use and setup. We can train anyone from a beginner to a very advanced skill set. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, we have a question. Can the creator forms be used for end users to be able to log in and update their own user records in Zoho? Yes, they definitely can do that. And if you need help, we can talk to you after the webinar about how we can help set that up. Do we have any more questions? If you have any questions about any of what I've gone over or anything about the form types, please reach out to me. My contact information is as follows. Thank you, everyone.